My husband won't let me have friends. My name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. I'm going to help you with this as much as I can. In some cases, we'll get somebody who writes in to one of our counselors at the Marriage Foundation, and they're complaining about something that they knew about before they got married. A case like this, for instance, uh, their husband was very jealous all the time, never allowed her to have friends, and now she wants to change it. And it's not so easy. It's like getting a dog. I don't mean that your husband is a dog, but it's like you get a dog and it has certain characteristics, and now you want to change those characteristics. You get a lap dog and now you want it to be a guard dog. It's not so easy. What it requires in those cases is for you to first of all make sure that you've got a really good communication with your husband, that you're in love with each other and you're able to talk about things. That's the first step. If you don't have that yet, then it's really important that that is your first step and you recognize it. Because if I just give you a tip, well, try this, try that, it really won't work. You have to have this sort of a bridge that you two meet on, and it's not that difficult. Mostly it's difficult for people because they don't know how. So you can't learn how in a video like this. Obviously, you can subscribe to the channel and learn so much about marriage, but you probably need one of my books so that you can learn about communication. You could learn about love. You can learn about intimacy. You could learn about how it's supposed to be, because you know there's two great promises in marriage. One is for happiness. You didn't get married to be miserable. You got married in order to be happy. And in order to be happy in a marriage, you need to understand how to do that so you can infuse happiness into your marriage, so that you can maintain control over your own emotions and feelings so that you're feeling happy all the time, regardless of outer circumstances, whether outside your marriage or in your marriage. So getting one of my books really is a useful thing to do, because I lay out marriage very well. In all the chapters, there's no fluff. There's no trendy stuff. Everything is based on principles, so you develop a knowledge of marriage that becomes practical. And then you're able to, in one of the chapters is about marital communication, which is very different than other kinds of communication. So you could really learn. So that's a first step. Now, let's say that your husband has just become recently, maybe over the past year or two, but he's become very jealous and very watchful over you. Well, that's not okay, but you can't confront your husband about it. But what you can do is you can assure him through your behavior. Again, getting one of the books is really a useful way to start. Don't think that there's an immediate solution. And please don't be one of these people who just wants to complain. There's too much to gain from marriage for you to just complain about what you don't have. You can have it all. You know, when we grow up, everyone says the same thing, that they don't teach us practical things growing up. And it's true. You go to school, you don't even learn how to balance a checkbook. You don't learn about credit cards. You don't learn useful things, but the most useful things are left out too. And mostly because as a society, we have not evolved enough for people to really understand. You know, people go to therapists when they have marriage problems. It's the wrong place to go. So look at the statistics. Over 50% of marriages end. Why? It really shows that we don't know. So you really need the kind of information that you could test and prove to yourself that it's good and reliable information. So start with that. This is not something that should turn into something else. But what it should do is it should be a wake-up call that you really don't know enough about marriage, or about your own marriage, or about your own husband, where you can say, honey, I really would like to talk to you about this, and have a real simple conversation that ends well. No arguing, no fighting, no criticism. It ends well. So, I hope this was useful. Remember, the more you know about marriage, the right things, the happier you will be. Thank you for spending time with me. Like this video and take advantage of this information by subscribing to this channel. Take care.